Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu. I got me Elijah and Max, and they just changed the tone of the countdown.
Yeah, I was
That
just like,
wasn't you.
I know it wasn't
you
me. They
changed
just
it.
like it's all been updated. It's like okay, that countdown is no longer the bum 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 whatever. I guess that sounded a little bit better.
That's good. I've had enough of that one. It's like they could
Yeah.
change it up every once in a while.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I agree
everyone was
there.
getting old.
Yeah. So guys, how's everybody's week? What have you been catching up on? What have you been watching? Anything new? Anything interesting? New shows? Anything?
Only the new. I mean, I just watched the new the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's like the newest thing I
I
watched.
saw some highlights.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I
good.
watched that, but I didn't catch. I didn't. I guess I didn't go see a movie this week or catch
Right.
up any on any new.
Yeah.
I'm behind on the Spider-Man
Uh,
animated thing, so I need to finish that off. But
I've been
Oh
keeping
yeah,
up
that's
that.
what I watched this week. I
Yeah.
was trying to remember what did I
nothing
watch this
majorly new.
week.
Yeah. That was good. What about you, Max? What you been up to?
Spider-Man, which you just reminded me of. I completely
That's
forgot
it.
I watched that. And
Yeah.
White Lotus, the first episode of White Lotus came out last week.
Okay. All right.
Of season 3. It's been pretty good so far. I think
Okay.
I trust Mike White to land on any plane at this point.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. What's that about? I don't even know what that's.
It's a kind of an anthology of sorts. It's like
Right.
each season, it all takes place at a resort, and it's all just like super rich, super conceited people
Okay.
having a terrible time on vacation. That's the
Okay.
best way to describe the show without spoiling anything, because it's always like a different plot each season.
Okay.
Um, it's really good. It's like a
All right.
satire that I don't know how to explain it. It's mostly kind of satirizes the
Uh huh.
elite and the people that work for them at these luxury resorts around the world.
Right.
Um, and each season has an insane cast. This cast
Uh
this
huh.
year is like Walton Goggins,
Right.
uh, a million and a half nepo babies, Carrie Coon. Um, yeah, it's just been great each season.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, basically, I mean, in the last 2 weeks, I managed to finish Daredevil season three. Finish up on the Defenders. I haven't seen like most of those shows for the first time, so it was kind of cool to catch up on Daredevil before we start Daredevil. I guess it's going to be season four or whatever. Born
It's the
Again
reboot. It's Born
reboot.
Again
Yeah,
season 1. That's
yeah,
why they're
yeah.
calling it Born Again. It's
Fair
just
enough.
I know they're taking the Frank Miller name, but it really is
Yeah,
representative of the show being revived in its own sense and being able to
yeah,
continue their plot lines while also
yeah,
integrating the new MCU stuff.
yeah. Now I'm curious to see how that all plays together and everything like that. So, but I mean,
But
I
especially
enjoyed
after
enjoyed
Echo,
that.
no one's
Hmm.
talking about how Mayor Fisk was running for mayor at the end of Echo, and that's going to bleed over into Daredevil.
Actually, I need to. I still haven't checked out Echo. I guess I kind of
It's
need
been
to.
that's been like a
No,
year old
I
show.
know, I know, I know. I feel bad. Actually, I should catch that because that's kind of important. That's all Fisk oriented, right? So
It's just a few
interesting.
plot points that are important, but it's
Okay,
stuff they showed in the trailer. It's like
fair
stuff
enough.
like him. I guess he's in the trailer. It looked like he was mayor already, so I don't know
Right.
how they're doing it, but
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, that and then of course, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised that
Hmm.
it turned out to be such a interesting story arc for me. I very much enjoyed its story. I don't want to do too many spoilers because I know Elijah hasn't caught it yet, but I think it was a interesting take on the character that we know and on characters that we kind of are secondary characters in the regular Spider-Man universe that we don't normally hear about. So I was kind of invested in those new characters. Let's put it that way.
I
What?
liked it. I
Yeah,
was kind of the reverse. I was more
yeah,
invested in the spider characters. I didn't really care about
really.
all the randoms they were throwing in there. I mean,
Okay,
Tombstone was one of the biggest, without spoiling anything. They
right.
aged him down for the show.
Uh huh.
Usually, Lonnie is maybe twice Peter's age. He has a daughter around Peter's
Right.
age.
Hey guys.
Um,
Right.
Let me go turn that on. He has a daughter around Peter's age, but in this version, they
Yeah.
made him Peter's age to match him in high school, and
Right.
they gave him a really good story. That regardless of how you feel about the age change, it was a really good
Oh yeah.
version of that
It's one of
story.
the most. Yeah, Tombstone's character was one of the most invested characters I think throughout the show that I really
It's
never thought about, but really enjoyed.
it's weird. They've been doing this in the comics and the last Spider-Man video game, but they've been really making him like a sympathetic villain,
Yeah,
where you see a different angle of him than you used to. Because he used to just be just like an indestructible
right.
mafioso type guy.
Yeah,
Um, but now they're really kind of giving him heart and mind
yeah.
to his decisions.
Well, I mean, again, I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but where we left off, it seems like he's still friends with Peter, and he still have this other agenda on his hands that he is going to be pursuing. So I guess they're going to go the arc of, and that's what makes it so sad and tragic. It's because I really enjoyed that character of, this side character that I didn't know too much about, and just really got to like that character. And now it's like, man, this kid could be, turn bad kind of thing, and go the way of the comics. It's like, man. But either
I mean,
way,
I think he was always going, without giving away spoilers. I mean, I
yeah,
think his story only ends one way.
right, fair enough,
It's
fair
kind
enough.
of like Peter, where you can't introduce Peter and have him not be Spider-Man.
Yeah, but even Peter had a very interesting little dark moment there in that last episode or two, which I was actually really surprised to
Oh
see come
yeah,
to.
I'll go into that when we could talk full spoilers.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's actually harkening off of another MCU scene,
Oh,
and
okay,
it's a scene I thought they actually did better than the MCU.
okay, all right, interesting. Um, as for season two, it sounds like we've got a first look of Gwen Stacy, I guess, or
I think
Spider
it's too
Gwen.
early to introduce her. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Oh, do you think it's
I
too
think
early?
also people are sick
Yeah.
of multiverse stuff. We don't need Spider Gwen in every
Well,
Spider Man story. She's
no,
such a late
but
addition. I also think she doesn't
yeah.
make sense to
Mm.
introduce Spider Gwen without Gwen Stacy.
Well, it depends on how
First.
they introduce her, and how they
It's just
play
going
with
to be
that.
another Spider person. I feel like she's not going to be
Yeah.
multiversal. I feel like she's going to be
Okay.
just another Spider person
To that
from.
universe. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't like that. I mean, I think it just
We'll see. I
if
mean,
you're going to do that, you should go Miles
yeah.
or Aranya. I mean, I think this Gwen erasure is just kind of it kills me.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm kind of curious to see what they do for season two. I'm glad we're getting season two. I'm glad they're sticking with it. It sounds like they're kind of going to go for like a 3 season arc, from what I
That's what they've
understand.
said. They
Yeah.
said that they've been renewed for 3 seasons,
Yeah.
and it felt like that watching this show where
Yeah.
you could tell they were leading things up. There was stuff they were building up
Right.
for at least a second season.
Yeah.
Introducing, I mean, including all the people they introduced. I mean, a lot of the people they introduced, they clearly were like,
Yeah.
this person's going to stick around, but we're not fleshing them out yet.
Yeah. Um, No, no, it won't be Spider Gwen from Spider Verse. I mean, they've already kind of established, especially with a moment. Again, I won't say any spoilers in that last episode, but the moment of in the last episode feels kind of like we're getting a longer, more elaborated story of a what if kind of scenario, and
Yes.
I'm enjoying that. I like that a lot.
Well,
So,
to that point, I mean, they're
mm,
literally. This isn't a spoiler. It's just what the show
mm,
does. It's part of their the pitch for the show. Is they're taking MCU moments and they put them in the background of the show. So you're not
yeah,
seeing like Spider-Man with the Avengers. You're seeing what if he
right,
didn't go with the Avengers,
right,
and that's
yeah,
a big key component of the show. It
sure,
makes you wonder: will a snap happen? Will he get snapped
hmm,
away?
mm.
Because they have all the MCU moments happening in the background, like the Sokovia
Oh yeah,
Accords
I didn't think
and
about
the
that.
Civil
Yeah,
War fight, and that was one thing that kind of irked me
yeah,
was how much it was trying to be MCU centric while not being the
right.
MCU world because it made it feel like a what if to the MCU
I
rather
was
than its
completely
own
fine.
thing.
I was fine with that.
I don't think they needed to show like Civil
Yeah,
War footage.
yeah.
I don't know. That to me, it felt a little egregious. Where I was like, there's other universes besides the MCU. Like,
Mm.
I don't get why they want to sell MCU Spider-Man instead of just Spider-Man.
Well, either way,
That's
I
just
still
that's
enjoyed it.
just me. I like the show
Being the
though. I did
case,
like the show.
I suppose. One last thing on Spider Man there was
I
that.
also want to answer Anchorman's question before we
Oh
get
yeah,
off the.
sure, no problem. I was just going to say quickly. Colin Domingo, who plays Norman Osborn, said he'd be interested in playing a live action version of Norman Osborn. I would love to see that. I think he's
He's
an
one of my
amazing
favorite
actor.
actors. I would
Yeah,
watch him play anything. If you wanted to
yeah,
play a tree in the background of a play, I would pay $100 for that ticket.
yeah. He's great. He's great. What's the question you wanted to?
He asked if I was into Tombstone, the Zeb
Oh yeah.
Wells Spider-Man run.
Okay.
I actually am. I thought that was a really interesting take on
Right.
Tombstone. I
Okay.
thought he was the first major person to really humanize him in a while. To
Yeah.
give him a good story with Janice and his daughter Janice getting married to Spider-Man's friend Randy,
Hmm.
and him having to make nice with Spider-Man
Yeah.
and then working together, and then you see this Tombstone takes a twist, so he becomes a bigger bad guy, so his
Right.
daughter doesn't have to. And I thought that was pretty brilliant writing. He accepts that he's already a bad guy. It's too late for him to be considered a hero, but it's not too late for his daughter to not be considered a true bad guy, a true supervillain. I thought that was great writing.
Now, we haven't been on for a couple of weeks, guys, but last time we checked in, we had all these trailer drops and everything that we didn't quite catch. But the big thing we did see, of course, was Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh yeah,
Let's share our thoughts, Elijah. Yeah,
Oh,
we did
did
see
you guys
that.
talk
Yes.
about it last Sunday?
No, we didn't because I wasn't around last. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't
Oh, you
have to
guys
stream
didn't do
last
it. You
Sunday.
didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I figured we'll talk about that now. So Elijah, what were your thoughts on Brave New World?
It was okay. I didn't love it. It was
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't. It wasn't amazing. I didn't like come out of it like, oh, that was great.
Right.
So,
Okay.
it was okay. I don't know how much more I can expand on it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was all right. I was expecting the Red Hulk to be in it more than
More. Right.
more than what they showed, but I guess
Right.
it kind of makes sense. It's the classic big bad in the third act, and
Mm-hmm.
you kill the big bad in the third act like within the 15 minutes, which is
Yeah.
always I always hate, which is just
Right.
they do
Yeah.
that a lot in any movie where like the villain like tease the villain for the long time, and then the villain
Yeah.
shows up and they defeat the villain. You're like,
Yeah.
we must be not that hard of a villain to defeat if you can do it in a couple minutes.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and wrap it all up like in one fight or whatever. It just doesn't make that never makes any sense to me in any movie.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna show the villain that late, like they got to get away, or they have to like have a fight and then continue on into the next movie. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you have a big villain or a big fight with someone and be able to
Right.
wrap up that story in the last third act of a movie? It just doesn't. That
Right,
always bugs
right.
me, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So that was like the only thing
Yeah.
I didn't like about it. Just like, why would you do that? Like, why even put that character in there? Then if they're not going to give it more, if they're not going to give it
Surin enjoys it.
more
Yeah.
room to
Okay.
grow, I guess.
All right. Max, what were your thoughts? Because we know you've got thoughts.
Well, actually, I didn't hate the movie. It
Yeah.
was very middle of the road.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't like I wasn't sitting at the movie saying, "Oh, this is bad," but I wasn't really cheering. I think on
Right.
paper,
Yeah.
it was a good movie. I think on paper the plot works really well.
Yeah.
There's some clever twists in there. The problem is it's just not very exciting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do
and
agree.
part of that is marketing. I think part
It's
of that was
not exciting. Well, when you say not exciting, it's we've seen it before. Not exciting. So we haven't seen anything. We didn't get anything.
But
new
it's also the
out of
movie,
this. I
you're
don't
telling us
feel
you're,
like
you're
it.
giving us a Captain America movie where most of the movie he's not doing stuff as Captain America. He's just in like
Right.
a regular T-shirt and a jacket, and he's like, "Well, I
Right.
gotta storm this evil super base." It's like, why is he not in like a stealth suit? Like
Yeah.
you're trying to sell this movie as him as Captain America. That's their objective,
Yeah.
is to sell toys.
Right.
As Captain America, make him look like Captain America. It's just
Right. Yeah.
that was. But then there's also I think too many villains. I think
Mhm.
Giancarlo Esposito as a Copperhead or
Yeah.
Sidewinder,
Sidewinder,
was
yeah.
just not very interesting. He shows up to like, I'm going to fight Captain America because I think I can kill him. And then he's like,
Yeah.
Brennan had that point in this after me, it made me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
It's like he's a 60-year-old guy trying to fight a superhero in his prime, and his only credential is he leads an organization we have not seen. He's the only member of Serpent Society they showed, and he goes to fight Captain America solo and wasn't even a problem. Captain America basically takes him down pretty easy. Like the movie just had very little stakes besides the leader, who spent most of the time not doing as much evil stuff as he could. He was like being very subtle about it.
Yeah.
And I think the Red Hulk stuff would have been great if they didn't market that to us first. If that wasn't the entire marketing, everyone would have lost their mind if that was a surprise. because you
Right.
put him on the
Yeah.
poster and all the trailers.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
all you were thinking about while watching the movie is when is he
Yeah.
gonna Hulk out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then when he
And
does
it's
it at
not
the
till
end
the
of the
end. When
movie,
at the end of the movie,
you've already
yeah.
seen everything in the trailer. You
Yeah.
know it's gonna be that one fight, and then it does
Yeah.
make sense. I will say it makes sense for Sam to talk him down because of Sam's post-war training. Like he leads a
Right.
support group. That's kind of his whole thing is talking people down from the
Yeah.
edge,
Yeah.
and that thematically worked well for him. But it's also just not very exciting for them to
Yes.
have
Yeah.
a mediocre fight with some okay slow-mo. Like the writing was fine for it. The writing was great, but they just forgot to give it that. I think the director needed more of a spectacle. And it's the same thing with that the Celestial thing. Everyone was waiting for the Celestial for years.
Sure.
What were they going to do?
And
with
it was a background piece.
It was a set piece. It was a set piece for a fight that was also not very interesting because no one was really fighting. It was just Sam trying to stop a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I think on paper it would have been a really good book. Like if you read this as a book, you would say, "Oh, this is great. This is great." But as a movie, as an MCU movie, it needed a bigger spectacle.
It needed to be. Yeah, I agree.
And then Brent also pointed out to me, like,
it would have been way more interesting for him to turn into the spoilers. It would have been way more interesting for him to turn into the Red Hulk on that
ship
submarine.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Like, that was so close. That was so close.
Put it in like that is like I was waiting. I was like, oh crap! Like out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like that would make it way more intense of a scene if he
totally
turned into a Hulk out in the middle of the ocean. That's like way different versus just like in the cherry blossoms. It's like not the right not the right scent of tension to have that big bad show up. Like it was like so primed waiting. I was just like where you thought that's where I thought it was coming, and like because they didn't do it there. I'm like, oh that was kind of like a really,
they needed two fights. I think they needed two Hulk fights, or at least two hulking out scenes.
Yeah,
to show how unstoppable he
I
was
agree.
Because it just happened so quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean it. Yeah, it's that's the other thing is though they also wrote themselves in a corner because of what's his name being president there at that point.
What's his name? Harrison Ford?
No. The character's name.
Thaddeus Thunderbolt
Thaddeus
Ross?
Thunder Ross. Yes, because he was president.
The day that Brent
you
forgets
couldn't
Harrison
do
Ford's
that.
name,
No, not Harrison Ford. I was thinking of Ross's character. No, when Ross's character transforms, then you kind of only get that one deal, and that one deal is there. You can't have him go back to be the president and pick up where they would have ended this film. So it feels like they should have taken that last scene, put it in much earlier, and then somehow have Hulk just infiltrate because he's still obsessed about getting to this whole
That should
mission.
have been the whole thing. Is he should have midway through the movie during the submarine, he should have hulked out, and then the whole idea should have been he's obviously can't be president anymore. But how do we legally go about that? What do we do with this man who is now both fugitive and president? And
correct, exactly.
And
exactly. That's a great story.
President?
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
like real
yeah. But
I mean, I think that
would have been the obvious. If it was Orange Hulk, like like if it was just like back in the day, they didn't go with red. It was just orange.
The orange.
Then there'd be some real like.
Elijah's mission to time travel. Change Red Hulk to Orange Hulk instead. Anyway,
go back to 03 and give Ed McGuinness a orange
vodka. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, being the case, it was fun to watch. It wasn't a bad film, but it also wasn't a multi-repeating film where you can sit and rewatch it again and catch anything new. We really did end up by getting everything in the trailers, unfortunately. Yeah, not enough spoilers and surprises in the movie.
It's because they hammered Red Hulk to death in all the marketing, and then you put the whole movie saying, "Where's the Red Hulk?" And I think no one really cared about Leader that much, or Sidewinder, because they already showed us Red Hulk. It's not that those characters were bad; but they dangled the keys in front of your face and then make you wait a whole movie for it.
Yeah, and then the Leader also just was, we saw this character once, 15 years ago when it was.
He was fine, but he also wasn't very smart. Like, all of his plans failed, and I think they should have leaned into the mind control more. I mean, I think in the comics, That's what made him interesting. I thought they had a cool angle on it in the first half of that movie where it was like through technology. And then they just kind of abandoned that. They just got over the mind control, and they were like, what if he's got clever devices that makes people's hearts stop? Like, I don't even know what they're like.
Where did they gave him that technology?
It just felt like too many writers were trying to write for the leader, and they all had different angles on him. Like one person's like he's super sympathetic, one person's like no, he's a mind controlling sociopath, and someone else is like no, he's a clever tinkerer working in a basement. Like it just felt like he didn't have a cohesive character in the movie.
Yeah, again,
though I get why he was mad. He looked like
and
shit.
that was a little bit weird too. It was a little bit weird too because the music that he played to like snap to turn the people into like mind control. Usually that needs to be set up beforehand, and they didn't. I don't remember them explaining like these people have already been programmed to receive this sound, and then they turn he just turned on some music, and they
God forbid that they turned on the radio and that piece of music played.
Right. So some of that that.
I think you need the flash of the camera first.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Either way,
they should have used that more in the movie. It feels like they abandoned that after the first act.
Yeah,
right.
No, I agree. But end of the day, it exists. It's there. I mean, we've got Fantastic Four coming out next. That's
I think that's going to be a lot simpler. I think what's going to be good about that movie is that it's not going to have all the different working pieces that this movie had to make it kind of work in the end. It's going to be just a straight line adventure.
And they really haven't shown us a lot either. I mean, that's the other good thing.
I think they've actually shown us more than people think. I mean, they've shown us Galactus already. Like, how much more can you show? Like, that also could have been a big twist. Because now we're also waiting for that whole movie for Galactus.
Yeah,
I kind of think he might come at the end of the first act.
We'll see.
That's my theory.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe Galactus is not the big, threat situation.
I don't think he's the big bad.
Yeah, I mean, pulling the strings. I mean, there's going to be. I did read there's going to be 2 post-credit scenes, so keep an eye out for that for when we get Fantastic Four.
One of them's got to be Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom.
Yeah, the last bit is going to be like like in the dark. You can see like a side of him or something, and
we'll see.
Seems like that's where to go.
We'll see. They've kind of said he's not
like a small scar on his face.
Second in.
Yeah. The villain look, yeah. Anyway, there's that. There's been a ton of we jumped into one of our big things, and there's been a ton of little things as well over the last 2 weeks, and I'm just like, oh damn. A poster drop for the Electric State series, which comes out March 14th. That looks pretty cool.
Or a movie?
It's a show. I think it's a show. I'm pretty sure it's a show.
It says Russo
it's a movie. Oh, it's a movie. Okay, so it's okay.
I do think it's funny that the Russo brothers have just kind of formed this brand around working with the different Chris's.
Sure.
They're just going through the different Chris's. Like, which one do we want to put in next?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it looks interesting. The trailer dropped. It looks like an interesting kind of piece, and I don't know. Is it based on anything that you're aware of, or is it kind of its own?
No, I think it's just an original. I don't think I've heard of anything like this.
Yeah, I agree. Warwick Davis was honored.
Chris they use is Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Warwick Davis was honored by the British Film and Television Awards for a Fellowship Lifetime Achievement Award, which is cool. I don't think he's won any awards in his life or anything big.
No, that was their apology for Willow getting canceled.
Right. Yeah, that probably is. It feels so bad. But that felt so bad when he was quite disappointed that was taken. I mean, granted, it wasn't the most exciting series.
They just scrubbed it from the whole streaming service. I thought that was pretty disappointing. Like, it wasn't the worst show I've ever seen.
No, but at the same time, to have it pulled, it was just.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
With all that.
No, it wasn't great.
No,
it was not great. They had, they could have made it way better than it was.
But the fact that they kept it as a Disney Plus show, then they pulled it. It was just like, come on, you pull something that's been out there for a while, and you get tired.
Well, about everyone that worked on it, like that just sucks to have your work just taken away from you.
Yeah, I agree. It's
like if someone made a painting and someone else just burned it.
Yeah. Well, you may not be able to finish it ever again because we don't know if they'll ever get it back. It's. I've heard Ted season 2, series 2 is coming soon. Yes,
I am so excited for season 2 of Ted.
Yeah,
that first season was really, really good.
Yeah, I don't have Peacock, so I don't. I haven't actually still seen it. Sorry, Ted. And Anchorman barely remembers Willow, so it was uniquely interesting. I think episode 7 was my favorite episode. A friend of Elijah's and mine, Dave Yavesky, directed a film called Locked that's coming out in March as well. I believe it's connected to Netflix, but it's going to the big screen. It's Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård. And they
it says only in theaters, so on the bottom of that poster it says only in theaters. So
no, I know that. Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's going to get a longer run in the theater before.
Right, it could be, yeah. But I'm sure Netflix was attached to it. I could be wrong, but it's also produced by what's his name?
Sam Raimi.
Evil Dead, Sam Raimi. Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah. But the trailer's out. It's really worth checking out, and I'm looking forward to seeing that film. And Dave's an old friend of mine, so it's like
it's cool, and it's in theaters. I mean, that helps. You can go to the theater and give it go to the theater and see it in the theater.
But the trailer's pretty suspenseful too. It actually looks pretty intense of a trailer. So it's getting.
Can you play the trailer, or is that would that?
They'll probably end up by. I don't want them to. Yeah, every time I play something on here, YouTube tend to want that's not Disney. I can play. We can do and react to Disney trailers. For Marvel, for Star Wars, anything like that. But the moment we do something from Warner Brothers or any other thing, they put these copyright slaps on you, and basically, it's like it's ridiculous. So,
it's crazy. Marvel's or Disney's the only one that realized they make money off of other people talking about them. It's what makes other people go see their shit.
Yeah, and the moment that they start
see Snow White, so just let them all rag it.
Yeah. But
we'll get our money back from ad sharing.
Yeah, that's it. But the thing is that, you're right. And the thing is that Warner Brothers don't, and they end up by having not as many people talking about their products. They do it for their TV shows as well as their movies. They're like, even the Gremlins animated show, I showed the trailer one time, and it was like, nope, we got a copyright slap on it. It was just like, what? Come on, that's so stupid. And it's like, not the bad kind that you get, bad, it just simply means that anything.
It takes it down, yeah.
It doesn't take it down. It actually is anything.
Oh, it just demonetizes?
It demonetizes it, yeah. And so it's like, really? That's just whatever. Anyway, there's that. Also, Last of Us Season 2, April 13th, has got a release date. They did drop
so excited. I know what's coming, and I'm still excited.
Oh, yeah? I mean, I was meh on Season 1.
Just trust me, it's gonna get a lot crazier this season.
Well, Elijah, did you watch any of it or not?
I don't think I've watched the very last episode, but I know that last episode goes back. It's like off from the main line of the story. So I should go back and watch that very last episode.
Probably, yeah. Before
Doesn't the last episode go back to the two guys? Or whatever, the two.
I can't remember.
No. The last episode was without spoiling it. The hospital. It's Ellie in the hospital.
Okay, right. That's enough. I thought that last episode was something else. Going back to that episode of the two. What's that guy's name? Actor.
No.
Anyway.
What's his
so
name?
I'll have to go back and watch
character in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shows out. That's the thing, is like sometimes it's just too many shows. I haven't watched Shogun yet. I heard that's very good, season 1, and that won's plenty of awards and stuff like that. Last of Us,
it was just like a technically good show.
Yeah. Last of Us, for me, I mean, I've seen most of The Walking Dead, and for me, I know people say yes, it's not the same as zombies.
But
the beats, but they hit
not. No, they don't.
Yeah,
I will say fundamentally
they hit so many of the same beats.
Fundamentally, they do not.
Totally disagree. The tone of a single episode reminds me the tone of a random episode in The Walking Dead that they.
Okay, you're saying random episode. You're comparing one season to like.
No, I'm talking about episodic because. Right. Yeah, but
you're just thinking about that because Walking Dead is like 15 seasons of zombie shit. They're like fundamentally they focus on different things.
You know what?
Right.
I would have
28
to.
days later,
I would have to
any apocalyptic like
No, but
survivor
it's more
thing
than
has
that.
similarities to it.
No, but it was more than that. They were hitting the same beats that related to a certain episode here and there that I was like, oh, I've seen this before because I'd seen it before, and it wasn't because it was zombies and all that. It was just simply they hit these tonal beats in that series that was so dead on to The Walking Dead that it wasn't fresh for me to watch. Is where I kind of took it.
I could straight up give you the answer of why they're different. So,
Okay.
in Robert Kirkman's words, The Walking Dead is in and of itself a zombie movie that never ends. That was just the initial premise of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The Last of Us, it's not even a zombie thing. Like, first of all, it's not even the same category of zombies. It's more about the idea of
and I said that's what I said. Yeah.
In a microcosm of losing itself. It's mainly about what is important for humanity to survive. That's the question it's asking. That's why that last, without giving away spoilers, that's why that last episode was so important and why Joel did all that crazy shit. Was because he had to think about what is important to him and what does everything mean to him at this point after losing everything. Like he lost his daughter, he lost his life, he lost everything. Now all he has is Ellie. How does he live with? And she's supposed to be the one that's supposed to cure everything. How does he live with what he's done going forward? And it's very much a different situation. Like Walking Dead, the whole idea is not about the cure.
Right.
Last of Us is I can't get away without spoiling it. But
The Walking Dead is about how humans have digressed and where they are at in this world. And we see the exact same kind of beats from that.
The Last of Us is about the opposite of that. It's about it's about instead of degression, it's about regression. It's about who are we at our core, not what we've become, which is what The Walking Dead is. Oh my God, look what we've become.
I never saw that in the show. I kind of was like, it passed over me. It was like, nah. Anyway, whatever. But either way, what is that, Anchorman? I do not like zombies being in the Star Wars universe. I'm fine with the zombies in the Star Wars universe. They're not exactly called zombies. They're the Night Sister magic. It's everybody else who doesn't like that.
They're literally Walking Dead. They're the reawakened.
Yeah.
Well, they're the
reanimated. They were the reanimated.
Yes, reanimated. Like because zombies imply that there's its own virus that's infected through biting. I was fine
with that. That didn't bother me. And my friend was a reanimated character. He was one of the troopers, so it's like, eh.
My friend was a dead guy.
My friend was a dead guy in Star Wars Ahsoka. Yes, I'm not complaining. But anyway, Last of Us. We'll move on. If you haven't seen it already, the War of Rohirrim goes to Max on February 28th. Which is this week, which means that Jason will get this chance to watch it if he wants to.
I gotta watch it.
I thought you saw it.
I actually have. Hold on.
Oh no. I did see it, and it didn't do a lot for me. I was sadly a little disappointed.
Someone who worked on the movie gave me all these. I got like pin sets.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
If anyone wants one, let me know. I got a bunch of duplicates. He just gave me like a handful of them.
Oh, really? Actually, did I get?
He's sending you a pen.
Anyway, that's cool. That's nice. I think I did get one of those actually from when the movie came out, but
they give them out at theaters. That's cool.
I might have got one. I got a Ghostbusters pin when I saw Ghostbusters Frozen.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was cool. They had like a few different types of pins.
Yeah, I got the Firehouse, which was cool.
Yeah, I got Ecto 1. I remember
you got Ecto 1? No
pins.
way.
I know, yeah. I got a cool one.
I got one of the stupid mini puffs.
Are you on the mini puff? Yeah. Okay, you can keep that one. I was going to say I'll trade you, but no. Lilo and Stitch has got a poster and some more little trailer snippets. I don't know about that film. I mean,
I don't think it needs to be live action.
Live actions, please. Why are you doing that? It doesn't make any friggin' sense to me.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's annoying. I don't even care about this. It's just annoying. I don't even care about those movies.
Yeah. Anchorman wants to get a Jenna take a Funko Pop.
I got. He doesn't say I want.
He got. He got a
He
Jenna
sleeps
Ortega.
with it in his bed.
No, don't. Don't
turn
go
it
there.
into a Flavor Flay necklace. Put it around, just put it on like big gold bling.
Anyway, moving on. Again, there's been a lot of information that came out this week. Takashi Yamazaki, I can't pronounce his last name. Yamazaki it is. Has begun writing the storyboard of Godzilla -1 sequel, which is cool. I mean, I would like to see what he does in a second film because
I want to see what he does with a higher budget because he did a lot with a $15 million budget and it looked spectacular.
I was impressed, and I'm not a Godzilla fan, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a very impressive movie. I thought he kept the emotional core of the movie at such a high, interesting place because it wasn't even the most realistic place because he was a failed kamikaze pilot, which is like that's such a big swing of a
hysterical.
Story. And then saying that loud is it's like I don't want to say laughable, but it's like think about that. I mean, I guess it is. He is Japanese. It's part of his history, so I guess it is
of course
more interesting for him to think about it. But that's such an interesting take for a failed kamikaze pilot to be the guy that takes on Godzilla. For his honor. Like it was just such a good story.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was very well done. But anyway, he's getting to put together a sequel, so I am glad that he is being given that. I'm hoping, as you said, if he's given a budget, at least he'll be able to pay his people properly, and but I wouldn't want anything more than just the mindset of what he gave us from the first film and the sequels. Like, it's a very interesting story, interesting characters, and interesting dynamic. It doesn't have to be in the same time period. It can be at a later, different time period. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he might go forward in time a little bit. Though, who knows? I mean, I think the idea of Japanese Godzilla has always been about the aftermath of World War II. It's mostly been a cautionary tale of unwanted nuclear destruction. It's like, what happens if we just unleash nukes on us? Well, the world's going to end and we're going to cause it. And that's what kind of Godzilla represents, this man-made destruction of the Earth. And, as much as I want him to go forward in time, I feel like he might not go as far forward as I think he's going to go. I think it might be like the late 50s. Maybe early 60s at the most.
Maybe incorporate the same characters that he had in the first...
At least, some of the older versions of them,
Could be,
Though I really want to see... You remember that one guy that was like the guy that was helping building his plane, it was just really upbeat. He had the glasses that kept doing like thumbs up to him. I want to see that guy again. He felt like a good dude.
Yeah. Either way, we'll find out. I guess hopefully, they'll get plenty of time to put it together and make that happen. Something closer to my heart, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe still continuing to... I believe they already started shooting this film, but...
you gotta do the greatest casting of Jared Leto as Skeletor.
I know, that's really bad, but it's like... But they've actually got Morella... I can't pronounce it. Freaking last name.
Baccarin.
Yeah. Who I've actually always enjoyed. Like, she's all the way back from Firefly. She's gonna be the sorceress, which is kind of cool. And then I don't know who that actor is playing Fisto, but it's like that's probably one of the weakest characters. I think Elijah and I were having a good joke about Fisto's character the other day.
They're including.
We won't go there.
Cyclops, all like the weird characters that you don't think they would include. So at least the writing wise, I imagine the writer did a great job. But whoever's casting this movie is just Jared Leto as Skeletor, really? Like
I know. I mean, we'll see. Good thing is he's going to be in makeup, so
I've heard that he just assumes it's another DC movie. He thinks he's going to
Oh no, I don't know. But either way, I'm curious to see what they do. I don't think it will do all that well because I think He-Man was definitely a product of the '80s that kind of lived and died in the '80s, and every time that.
It was like a sword and sorcery thing that was stylized to be way bigger and 80s-er than all the other sword and sorcery stuff.
Yeah. When that was popular in the 80s, it's just like Conan and Beastmaster. And like I never liked any of those movies.
Really?
And then my dad didn't even, my parents didn't even let me watch He-Man because they're like, oh, it's not good because blah, blah, blah. So I never even got to watch this.
Because it had good morals for kids.
But No, whatever. It's like they just. I don't
Loki.
know.
You haven't seen
It's just
Master
kind
of
of
the Universe? Yeah, it's not a great film. The one that they did in 1987 with Dolph Lundgren was not a good film. The problem is
No, but it's fun to watch.
they took it out of Eternia and brought it to Earth for like 90% of the movie. And now I'm hearing that this is why I'm worried about this film, is because I think
I
they're
heard
bringing
doing it
part
again.
of it to,
Yeah.
they're doing it again, bring part of it to Earth. Now the only character who exists from Earth is Queen Marlena, who is actually being cast as well, and I can't remember who's playing her. Queen
Isn't
Marlena,
it
who's
Allison
Adam's
Brie or
mother.
something like that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but
It's just
she
got to be
originally was
saving
from
on
Earth.
production cost. If they're like, oh, we can't pay
That's
to create
the
all of
cop
this.
out.
Yeah, it's a cop out. Like, we can't create all
Yeah.
this, even computer generated. So let's just bring him to Earth. Like, just
Wait,
like, please.
Loki! Wow, jeez, Loki, we're really hitting the low bar here. Of trying to compare He-Man to Batman, and you're telling us that
Old
the old Batman
Which
movies are
old
bad.
Batman movies are
Old
you
Batman films are
referring to?
not bad, my friend.
The black and white.
Which ones are we
serials,
talking
like,
about?
He's talking
yeah, what are
about
we
the
talking
Tim
about?
Burton. He
We're talking
wasn't a
about
fan
Michael
of the
Keaton
Tim.
Batman?
Yeah, he wasn't a big fan of.
Elijah's right.
Unfortunately,
He's talking about the 1940s serials that were
the
weirdly
1940s
racist.
serial.
Batman and Robin. If he's talking about
Uh-huh.
Batman and Robin, that's different.
Oh yeah, well, Batman. Yeah, that was Tim, but that was also not Tim Burton. That was Joel Schumacher. So,
Yeah.
anyway, we'll see. I mean, I guess that He-Man film will be out sometime 2026 is what I'm hearing. They're already starting to shoot it, so I'll be curious to see what they
And I
do,
have no
because
hope.
the heart of what I loved was this planet which was between a mix between magic and technology, and they've tried doing new variations of it over the years, and some of it's works, some of it's not as as smart. So we'll see.
I
I'm
don't
meant
think
to
it
see
needs to be smart. I think He-Man needs to be big and dumb. I just need to make it big and dumb and look like He-Man instead of big and dumb and set it on Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
It
kind of
needs
the
to look
difference.
exactly
Well,
like the
we're getting
cartoon.
big and dumb, and no, I don't
It
know what
needs
we're
to be
getting to.
dumb. It needs to be
Yeah,
cheesy
yeah.
for kids. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to
Yeah.
have like a very cheesy type of like
I mean,
cartoony,
let's
bright
face it.
color
It's
look.
like Thundercats.
It's-
You
they're
can't make
trying
a
to-
down-to-earth Thundercats
Yeah,
movie.
Right.
but they, I think that'd be awesome though to see, because it would be really
They're
cool to
doing
see
it in
a
the
dark
comics right
Thundercats.
now, and I don't enjoy it. They're
Oh,
taking
yeah.
it so seriously. I'm just like, whoa, this
Really?
is not fun.
Fair enough. End of the day, He-Man's part of my childhood. I guess I'm curious to see what they do with this movie, but I'm not getting my hopes up. But we'll wait and see till the first trailer comes out. That'll be at least, again, they're shooting now, so probably sometime next year we'll get the
With
film.
Timothy Chalamet as He-Man.
No, they've got some actor I've never heard of his name.
He's gonna be
I've seen him.
whatever.
I've seen him in the blonde
what's his
wig.
name?
Yeah, actually, yeah, Prince Adam. Yeah,
Adam, and
I've
then
seen.
he changes into the Rock, like all huge.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to keep
Yeah,
it
I
like.
missed the idea
yeah.
where it was going to be Terry Crews in a blonde wig.
Yeah.
That was the initial pitch that got this movie off the ground. Was it was going to be Terry Crews in a blonde wig?
Uh-huh. Well,
It should be Zac Efron because he looks like He-Man in that
He
wrestling
does.
movie. He's got
He
the
does.
Oh my
He-Man
God, yeah.
hair.
he does, doesn't he?
Like
Yeah.
Zac Efron should be,
But an
He-Man.
older version. Like he's getting too
Like a
old now.
steroided out He-Man. His veins
Yeah.
were just like popping out of his body.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, other news coming out: Dune Messiah reportedly will start shooting in June of this year, which Max will be excited to. Yeah, shooting.
I'm excited. I
third
hope
installment.
Villeneuve continues past the second book. I kind of
Right.
want him to go at least throughout God Emperor, but I really think it'd be really cool to do all
Right.
of the Frank Herbert books.
Yeah, well, this is the last they're doing in this particular franchise, so I don't know how that compares. But at the same time, we'll see. I mean, I enjoyed the first one more than I enjoyed the second one, which is quite the reversal of most people. A lot of people enjoyed the second one better. I thought the structure of the first film was much better on the first one, so we'll see how it concludes. I assume there's going to be a time jump, though, into the future.
Yeah, there's a bit of a time skip into, which is why he initially said he wasn't going to make it for 10 years. And the studio was like, what if we drop a dump
Yeah.
truck of cash? Because in 10
Yeah.
years, no one's going to care.
Yeah,
Look what happened to
exactly.
Avatar. It's like you
Yeah.
need to keep making these franchise movies if you want the franchise to stay alive. You can't just
Yeah.
meander 10 years later and
Yeah.
hope people remember it.
And then the cast that's been in it were all great cast and great
Yeah.
actors. It was a solid set of films.
There's some moments in 2 and
Yeah,
Messiah, I should say, not like 3, whatever. I cannot wait to see in live action. I don't want to
okay,
spoil anything,
yeah,
but I think it's really to be a test of Jason Momoa's acting and how well could he carry a
for
scene.
Duncan, Idaho, right? Yeah,
Duncan,
yeah,
Idaho,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think he's the most important Dune character of all Dune characters. Everyone thinks
Really?
would say it's Paul, but Duncan's is the real
Okay.
most important person in all of Dune. And I think it's gonna be really interesting to see when you give him actual scenes because he in the first book and in the first movie he doesn't really do
No,
much.
he's kind of there's
He
background.
just dies.
Yeah,
But that's kind of the whole point of Duncan
yeah. That's what I was trying
Idaho.
to figure out. He died, didn't he? So, well, we assume he
Yeah,
died.
Duncan. Yeah, I mean Duncan dies a billion times. He's kind of his thing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I didn't know that.
I got well in God Emperor. Leto says he's killed. Like I guess it's 1,000 years later. Leto's killed him like 10,000 times, and he's just like, why? Why does my life suck so much?
That's funny. Yeah. Um, Loki fell asleep watching the first Dune film. That's.
I honestly did not like the first Dune film when I saw it. I had to
I
go read the
actually,
books.
I had the reversal. I had the best experience in the Dolby. The sound was fantastic in that film. In the theater.
I didn't get to go see it in Dolby. I was during
Ooh,
COVID. Me and Brandon watched it
yeah,
at home, and
yeah,
I just couldn't get into it. I had to go read because I really wanted to figure it out. So I read the first book and was just by the time I finished the first book, I was like so
right,
in on the universe. I was like, I got to read all of these books. Like
yeah,
it was something that I got everything explained to me and everything clicked for me. I
yeah.
was just like fascinated.
Okay. Well, we'll move on from Dune. We've still got Dune. We've got plenty of other things. So the Odyssey. They dropped a photo from the set of Christopher Nolan's film
Then
The
they took it
Odyssey.
down.
And then they took it down. I guess we should take it down. Yeah, actually, that was kind of weird. That they put it up, and then suddenly,
I think Christopher Nolan probably asked to take it down. I think it was probably a shot from like a. It looks like it was like from an upcoming article or from maybe even one of the dailies or
it could
something
have
like
been.
that.
It could have been.
And
It
they
could have
jumped. They were already all the casting was going announced, and we
Yeah.
didn't even know. No one even knew it was filming yet. It was just all the
Yeah.
casting was getting announced,
Right.
and then Warner Brothers announced
Yeah.
like they did their whole formal cast announcement, but they
Uh huh.
included that photo. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing Nolan was like, "You motherfucker! You have to ask
Well,
me before you."
it may not be that. It might be the rights of a certain magazine, like Empire magazine or something, getting the rights, or
Oh, it's
Vanity Fair.
another thing, yeah.
Sometimes they also get the first rights for the first photos and stuff like that.
Because it
So
might have
that,
been the person that took it, and it was,
yeah,
improperly published.
right, yeah. Either way, I'm excited to see what they end up by doing. I mean,
It
Corey
seems like it's going to
Hawkins
be a
being
very
cast as
classical
Christopher Nolan's The
Odyssey. I think
Odyssey.
a
Yeah,
lot of people,
yeah,
everyone thought it was going to be like in like modern times, like
yeah.
a
No, I didn't.
adaptation of a true adaptation, like in a
Yeah.
different sense of like not doing the actual story, but it looks like it will be doing the actual story of the Odyssey.
Yeah, but look at this! Look at this cast here. Like literally, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon, John Bethnal, yeah,
Berthenol.
yeah, Bethnal. Um, uh, just it keeps on going on. It's a huge cast.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just proof of everyone wanting to line up to work with Nolan. But I also
Yeah,
think everyone knows Nolan is so much better when he's.
mhm,
I think he's better when he's not writing just when he's writing with him, or if
yeah,
he's not the one that comes up with a story.
yeah.
I think when he comes up with the story himself, you get stuff like what's that movie? Everything happened backwards, whatever that one
Tenet,
was. Tenet.
Tenet.
You get
Yeah,
when he has to write himself, you get stuff like Tenet.
yeah.
When the story's already there for him, you get
Adapted.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I agree.
this movie's just everyone knows that this is going to be Christopher Nolan
I
at his
mean,
peak.
I'm
Plus, he
going
just
to
couple
assume.
Oppenheimer too.
Yeah, I'm going to assume he's going to keep it traditional then. I mean, obviously we know it's in Greek times, but he's going to keep a traditional story. He's going to keep everything. He's
Yeah.
not going to do anything too crazy. I mean,
What
what
do you
could you
cut out? 'Cause
do?
otherwise, it's going to be like a 6-hour movie if you adapt the whole Odyssey. Like,
Yeah,
it's not the
yeah,
shortest book. It's not the
yeah.
longest, but it's not the shortest.
I
Yeah,
did
that
see
seems like
also.
a good part one and a part two, like
Maybe they
type
will
of
though.
thing.
We don't know. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, I can see
they'll
that.
realize that.
Yeah.
It seems like the polymer cyclot scenes will be reportedly in they're shooting at a cave in Nestor's cave in Greece, and
So they're
apparently it's a
actually shooting in Greece.
6 foot 6 meter tall mechanical anamorphic puppet built inside the cave. So that is going to be pretty epic to see as well. So obviously he's going with a lot of practicals, even for the beasties and the creatures, which could be kind of fun to see. So I'm excited to see a real Greek mythology done in this day and
I mean,
age.
honestly, it's a classic story. Everyone
Oh,
knows the
totally.
beats of it. I
Yeah,
think what's going to make it interesting is how I think he's going to probably try and focus
yeah,
on all the stuff with his wife. I think that's the emotional core of the movie,
right.
of the story that everyone forgets is how his wife just completely just is awful to him when he leaves. He's like finds a new guy, she marries him. So, well, I thought you were dead, and he comes back, and he's just like has to deal with all that. I think that's the part of the Odyssey that I think Christopher Nolan's gonna be
Yeah.
his hook, rather than him having to go through all the trials and tribulations.
Oh wait, Anchorman, you had to read the Odyssey in high school and you got into trouble over it? Okay, now I'm curious as to why you got into trouble over reading the Odyssey.
He actually
Um,
read the Iliad.
um, the cinematographer also from
Oppenheimer, Nope,
Oppenheimer,
and
yeah, yeah,
Interstellar. That's
yeah.
yeah.
So that's like that work alone is just incredible visually. The cinematography on that, so you would expect nothing more than an amazing cinematographer. So this film, it sounds like it's already shooting. It's in full swing. They've definitely got their cast on the table. I'm going to assume it'll come out 2027 is my guess. Uh,
Yeah.
maybe late 2026, but I don't know. That's just guesswork there.
Who's
Um,
who's producing it? Is he with
don't know
Universal
actually.
now after he left Warner
I
Brothers?
actually don't know who's
I think
doing
it's
it.
Universal. You
Yeah,
say Universal. I think it's
Yeah.
Universal.
yeah, that makes
Because I
sense.
remember that from.
Wait, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, wasn't it someone at Universal that pulled it down or something? I don't know. Either way, the Odyssey. It'll be coming out soon. Christopher Nolan's next film, and I'm very, very excited
That's
to
going to
see
be an
this.
exciting one. That really is going to
Yeah,
be like,
yeah,
especially him doing such a like probably the most classic story of all time. Like,
yeah, yeah. Well,
I,
yeah,
I
it's the
you
hero's journey.
can
It's the
so
hero's journey. George Lucas took the hero's journey from the
People
Odyssey
are like,
for
this
Star
is a
Wars.
ripoff of Star Wars. You're like,
Hey, you
maybe
kind of
it
came
goes the other way
first.
around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Homer
yeah, I
wrote
do
it
like that.
first.
I don't like that scene where he gave Homer a lightsaber.
Uh huh.
I'm sorry, Odysseus, not Homer. Homer's Iliad.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So wait, you went to church and the friend said the teacher was vague on what you want to do with the book. So I brought it up at school the next day and the difference, the teacher didn't like that. Oh, okay, all right. Fair
He got in
enough.
trouble because he
Okay.
was reading the Clip Notes version of the book, and he didn't read the entire thing.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Okay, that probably would have been me too because I'm dyslexic, so I don't read big heavy
Yeah, I
books.
couldn't read that whole book even if I tried. Like if I
Really?
was in jail, I couldn't read the whole book
Oh,
just
really?
because I would get so
It's
bored
not
with it.
that
I'd be like,
long.
"This
I
is."
think it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, but
you
you're a
actually
reader.
You're a
You're
reader.
you're a reader. Like what drive me nuts. Like I couldn't, especially it's all like old, so it's not written up to it's not
you'd be
modern
surprised. The
writing.
Odyssey reads. It reads. It's a
There
pretty
was
good
not
read.
enough pictures in there for me.
No
No,
pictures.
the Odyssey it reads like a comic book almost. The
Uh-huh.
way he's going through all these trials, like when he
Uh-huh.
fights Medusa or the Cyclops, like there's
Yeah.
some real exciting stuff in there.
Yeah. So, speaking of comic books, James Gunn dropped this image this week with him and
Yeah,
Steve.
this was very controversial. People are
So,
losing their minds.
I'm curious about this. Okay, so this is now the second time that James Gunn has been kind of portrayed in an animation form in a
Well,
DC
let me
piece.
tee
Because
this
you
up
wait,
properly.
wait, but let me set the premise. The first time you see it is at the beginning of Creature Commandos, and he's actually in the opening credits, and they've animated him as if he's typing the story, and
I
it
mean,
kind of
sure,
pans
yeah,
around it.
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
and I thought it was kind of cool. But the fact that he's now on a comic book cover as himself, kind of thing. What are your thoughts?
Okay, let me tee this up because
Uh huh.
there's a lot of misinformation on the internet going around about this cover. So Dan Mora has been one of my favorite comic book artists right now. He's probably DC's premier house artist right now. Has been doing all these cameo covers. I have some of them. It's like people like Jerry Seinfeld was Superman and Batman in the Batmobile, where it's like superheroes and cars getting coffee, or it's Paul McCartney jamming with the Justice League and stuff like that. And it's just public figures and superheroes. And the idea behind this one was that, this comic, it's Superman, they came out with Unchained, something like that. Number 1, it's a new book by Dan Slott that's kind of being their synergy book with the movie. It's a new number 1 coming out around the same time with this movie. People can get a new Superman story without having to be bogged down by what's going on with the current DC universe. It could just be a standalone Superman story and around the release of the movie. Right. And then for the variant cover, for their cameo cover, they were like, what better cameo to do to synergize with the movie than David Cornsweet's Superman and James Gunn?
Right.
And comic book fans are losing their mind. I think I'm going to be honest, I think it's one of those situations where I think comic book fans aren't just like, I think salty people are just like, why is he everywhere, without realizing he's being a pretty good PR machine for himself.
Sure, absolutely, I agree.
I think he's done, his PR has been excellent. The video he just put out with Shaq, I thought was a great way to sell Superman. But some people,
and even more photos this week was he's there connected with Zack Snyder as well, which they've been friends for years. So they have been friends for years.
I have to point that out to people. Their first movie was together. Dawn of the Dead. That was Zack Snyder's first directed movie and James Gunn's first big budget written movie. Yeah. They made their Hollywood debut together. They've been friends for a while. Yeah. But I think this cover was just a tipping point for salty people being like, why is James Gunn everywhere?
I found it funny, and because I've worked with James before, I think he's all the more blessings to him for doing this sort of stuff. Yes, it's starting to feel a little heavy-handed, but I'm also fine with it because it's kind of like part of his.
I think that's the common sentiment among people who don't want to see him as much. I mean, I like seeing him around, but I think some people are saying it might be heavy-handed to show him so much, advertising him as the DC universe instead of showing off, like, say, have Superman do it. I think it's just also he's been more vocal than Kevin Feige. And I think some people, they don't know how to react to that. I think their negative reaction is mostly confusion rather than anything else.
Elijah,
I think he's been
what are your
doing
thoughts?
a great job, though.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't see any issue with it, and it's not controversial in any way to me. Like it makes sense. Like it makes sense. Like they have done it forever. I mean, they've got Muhammad Ali and the Superman fighting. And then there's been comic book covers of movie poster adaptations or.
Then you also got Stan Lee as well, who's kind of like also been integrated into
albums,
the
Stan Lee,
MCU.
Stan Lee, other people I'm sure there's been. Didn't Todd McFarlane do that back in the day? Like early Todd McFarlane would draw himself in onto covers or whatever, and I don't know. It seems like that happened a lot before, and I it's the cover. It's whatever they put people in books all the time. I don't think that's
It's also a variant cover. It's not even the main
it's a variant cover too. It's not the main cover, and he's not in the story.
I almost want to get a copy of that because I want to catch him again.
If I see in the wall, I'll grab a copy for you.
Yeah, please do. I'll pay you back. I'll like to have a copy, and next time I catch up at Dave's place, I'll see if I can get him to sign it or something.
I'll grab two so you can get one.
Absolutely, yeah, totally. Anyway, guys, I grab a couple. See, now everybody wants one. Sign is like, James, make it. Yes.
Dave, hey, can you sign 6 copies of this? And then Dave's gonna be like, no. But you do it for Brent. You do one for Brent, but not.
There you go.
Can't get him.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Second season of X-Men '97 will premiere on Disney spring of 2026.
I'm worried about this one, man. I'm worried. All these writers from What If are jumping onto this show.
Yeah.
the new showrunner for What If, and I think that show, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But the first season of X-Men '97 was such a high. I don't think we can go back to mediocre X-Men.
I mean, especially with the changing of the writer and everything, because he was
I mean, I think
by Disney.
If there is a decline, it's going to be very obvious because of how peak that first season was.
Yeah.
And that's what worries me the most. I don't like the first season was just like, if you're an X-Men fan like me, that was what you've been waiting for. It's just the X-Men doing X-Men thing as the X-Men. Like it's just all X-Men nonstop, even with the personal moments and the soap opera drama. It was just, it nailed it. And they set up a lot of great stuff for season 2. Yeah. That's loose adaptations to some really classic storylines.
Right.
And I don't think they could afford to bungle those storylines.
Yeah. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but we'll get it next year, kind of thing, which is cool. We'll see what happens. Daredevil has got the episode drops. It looks like they're going to be dropping the first 6 episodes released at least. So looks like we're going to get March 4th, March 11th, March 18th, and March 25th. And I think
it 12 episode season.
I think they're splitting up the season by the look of it. So we're gonna.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know, because we've also got what's it called? Andor coming out very soon after that too. So like the following week, I think Andor comes out. Actually, Andor's April 22nd. So maybe it is. Maybe we've only got the first 6 episode drops. I'm not too sure exactly. But they're doing.
I'm getting conflicting reports how many episodes there even is. Originally, it was supposed to be 18, but it looks like it could be 9.
I'm not too sure. I mean, they could be splitting it up. So anyway, that's the first 6 episodes dropping. It maybe they will continue dropping more episodes straight after that week. But it looks like we are getting a 2-season premiere and then a 2-season. Might be a mid-season point. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to drop it. What was the other thing I saw? Season 2 has begun filming as well. So
that's cool.
Which sounds about logical.
It's cool. Yeah, I think, has any of these Marvel shows had a season 2 that's not animated? Oh, Loki did. But besides Loki, what else got a season 2?
Yeah, that's it. Really, everything's been just one season, one-off, kind of one and done.
I feel like that might have been part of their problem. Is just they don't have faith in some of their shows, but they've. Maybe some. I guess a lot of limited shows like Falcon the Winter Soldier, but Ms. Marvel should have had a season 2 by now. That show was.
Yeah, I agree there. Yeah, she was a likable character and one that.
I think they should have kept pushing her. I think if they released a yearly show with her, people would just like her more and more and more. I think they would have a lot of opportunities to really expand the universe in different street level directions.
I agree. We got a full trailer for the Thunderbolts, obviously, and new posters that are being popping up for Thunderbolts and
on the Wheaties box.
On the Wheaties box, yeah.
The first time they've had wait a minute, is the Wheaties box the first time they've had like a non-athlete like on a Wheaties box? Like they never put like a comic book character.
That's not a real Wheaties box.
I think it's Star Wars.
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's not a Wheaties. Yeah, but these are posters.
You guys just said Wheaties box, and I looked like it. I was like, on Wheaties.
Oh no, but then
Wheaties
did Star Wars. I think.
Yeah, I think they'll release it as an official Wheaties box. I mean, I think that's kind of why they name checked them to begin with in the trailer, so they can get that cross promotion. Yeah.
Other MCU stuff. Avengers Doomsday begins filming in March in England, so next month.
It doesn't feel like we're leading into Doomsday. I mean, with the last movies. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they should have said that's a movie that should have been set up more than just the multiverse is collapsing. Everyone's saying that every 15 minutes in these movies.
I don't know how they're. Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily care as much anymore. This one's for Anchorman, which I showed him already, but studios are probably considering Jenna Ortega as a big role in the MCU. Who would she play?
I can think of a couple of X-Men she could play.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's going to be an X-Men for sure. She's going to be Shadow Cat or something like that.
She'd be an X-Men.
Don't say Shadow. No, they actually already, there's a report that she already might have cast Kitty Pryde already.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
I can't remember her name, but she looked like Kitty Pryde, and I was like, yeah, seems about right. It's a report casting for Kitty, I think Rogue, Cyclops, and
Rogue, because
someone
in the
else.
Saturday Night Live episode of Rogue, and like, oh, we want to see her as Rogue.
Right.
I think Jenna Ortega, if I was to cast her, I would like to see her as Marrow. I think she'd be a really
Who's
cool Marrow. She's this really edgy '90s X-Men who's like a Morlock, so she's like a deformed. She got like, all these bones sticking out of her, but she's like.
But I don't think they're gonna go with too many side characters. They're gonna.
Marrow's she's a pretty well-known X character. She's not a very oddball. Yeah, I think she's not. Marrow's got fans. She would pop. She was appeared in X-Men '97. She was in the background and seen a few lines.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's jump over to the DCU for a little bit again. As I said, there's a lot of little short bits and pieces. It's a huge week for news. Robert Pattinson says Batman 2 will begin filming at the end of the year. So, yeah, little short one. Another one jumped through. Lanterns production started last week, basically. So they started shooting. Clayface.
I don't know for sure. I honestly think they're shooting in LA. I think that's what's shooting at Lancashire right now.
Oh, Lanterns?
There was a bunch of Warner Brothers trucks.
Yeah.
And I stole some crafty. I stole a Nature Valley bar as I was walking by.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I was getting my coffee this morning. It was like right there. I was like, hey, you know what?
I'll
grab a Nature Valley bar.
Hey, that's what Max does on these.
I had like an in-ear in my car. I was like, should I just put it in my in-ear, shove it in my pocket, and just... I didn't even need it though. I just walked by. I was just no walkie or nothing.
You just put on your grip belt and a walkie, and you're just walking, just loading up, and you're like, "Oh, go back home."
I wasn't even thinking to walkie. I was just gonna put the in ear in, and just like, if you see that's close enough. You wouldn't question that.
That's funny. That is funny. So yeah, Clayface. Sorry. Clayface described as a Hollywood horror story that follows a B-movie actor injects himself with a substance, and it's all the kind of. I don't know.
Seems tired. It already seems tired. I don't think we need this Clayface movie.
I'm a bit concerned about Clayface being a front and center thing, but.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I think we have enough movies of look how sad this tragic figure is, and it's sad because no one loves him, and he went to the extremes to try and be. I just think it's tired already. We've been there. We've done that.
It'd be a nice secondary side story going on in a Batman story arc, but that's about it.
We don't need to see Clayface's Hollywood dreams again. It's been done before too. It's not even like an original Clayface story.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems tired. Like it's body horror and spooky. It's just I don't know. I can't bring myself to care about that kind of thing with superheroes.
Yeah. Jumping forward again onto Dragons, we've got House of the Dragon Season 3 will start shooting the Battle of Gullet, I guess
Goulet.
Goulet? Okay.
Goulet.
Described as one of the bloodiest sea battles in Westeros history. I'm curious to see what they do. I mean, I enjoyed Season 1 better than Season 2.
Season 1 was great. Season 2 was boring.
Mediocre. Yeah, I agree. It was definitely boring. Continuing on with Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons, the series Forgotten Realms.
We're going to keep talking about Dragons. I'm going to take a break and go to the bathroom.
Okay, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
No, he's just thinking everything Elijah doesn't care about in a row.
That's it. Forgotten Realms is going to be shooting for Netflix. Sean Levy is going to be producing the series, which actually could make it really good. I mean, I enjoyed the Dungeons and Dragons film. I don't think there's going to be any connection to what the movie was. But I am curious.
I think Sean Levy is just such a big nerd who's taking all these opportunities. He's like,
of course,
he took Stranger Things and was like, "Oh, this is great." And did the Adam Project, which is also a pretty nerdy movie.
Yeah.
Deadpool, Dungeons and Dragons. He's just like the go-to guy who could write a nerdy movie, but also keeping the heart of the story.
But think about also that you can actually take it now as a series, not just a movie. You could start with these characters who are challenged and petty and pointless, and watch them build their characters, and they could go up level 1 at the end of the season and go up to level 2 at the next season throughout the seasons. So you could actually build on that really, really nicely as a series, and I would really have wanted to see a TV series done right around that, not just a feature film. So But anyway, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other dragon. One other dragon. How
Oh,
to Train Your
geez.
Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon. We also saw a
That is a
trailer
longer break. Oh,
with that. I won't go too much into it. You know how excited
right,
I am
right,
about
right.
dragons. But we're actually seeing a lot of the cast members in costume, which they all look great. We see them in the trailer and everything now. So it is a replica of the film, the animated film, but I'm fine with that
That's
because
the
I love
best
those.
word for it. Is
The
it's a
characters,
replica.
yeah, but they are endearing characters, so I'm curious to see how this cast pulls together those characters. And now we'll quickly jump over to Avatar. Not Avatar: The Last Airbender, but Avatar: Return to Path to Pandora. Just more images coming out from the Avatar movie, the James Cameron film. But then now we will jump to Avatar: The Last Airbender, premiered 20 years
That's
ago this week.
confusing. You can't do two avatars back to back. You gotta like separate.
Oh, I had to do. It seems I had to do dragons back to back. I had to do avatars back to back. This is a piece of official art from the last for the 20th anniversary of the last Airbender. I don't like Aang there. He looks kind of like a girl. It's a weird kind of painted piece.
Yeah, they really kind of like yassified him. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know that term, but they were like,
Yeah.
they kind of just like, I don't know. So they added makeup to him.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird looking Aang, but
rosy cheeks or
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last Airbender. There's a few things going with Avatar: Last Airbender. They've announced the new
Announced
season.
a new show. There was a
Seven
new
Havens,
movie.
it's called. And basically, from what I understand, Seven Havens is going to be based after Korra, set in the world in a world shattered and devastated by cataclysm, which means that after Korra's era, which was kind of like a rough 1920s, 1930s style of architecture and Earth-based planetary development, a young Earthbender discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra, but in a dangerous era. That title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not savior. Hunt for both human and spirit, and hunted for both from both human and spirit enemies. She is her long lost twin, and her long lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last stronghold collapses. So I think that sounds kind of fascinating as a story. I know it's supposed to be only 26 episodes and they're doing it over 2 seasons. But
I just want to find out what Korra did that made everyone hate her.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, Korra's got to, or she did something that was going to save the planet. I mean, I don't know how they're going to play that off, but
I mean, that's obviously the twist. There's no way they're going to reveal Korra was evil all along.
No, not at all.
It's obviously she did something terrible in the name of saving everyone.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
I'm interested to see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they're going to go like if Avatar: The Last Airbender was taking place in the kind of like 18th century Earth kind of thing, where there was this mystical element of technology and understanding starting to kind of appear, then Korra became the reincarnation of Avatar Aang becomes Korra. Korra was more of that 1920s 30s aesthetic. So if that all collapses and we have this kind of realm in, I guess, post-apocalyptic is what I would call it by the sound of it, after the Korra element. So that'll be the next Avatar. So I'm curious to see what they do. I mean, I enjoyed what they did in both shows. I think Korra had some good and not so great episodes.
It felt much longer than Avatar. I don't remember if it was longer, but it felt longer.
It was longer. It was 4 seasons, but it was less structured in some of the later seasons.
Well, Avatar was structured very well with each season being a different land, different environment. And so I don't know if anyone's reading my comics, Century on Dice, but that was that very much inspired the way I went through it, which is the element of each volume. You go through a different. Aang went through a different land and met a different group of people, and in turn learned more about his world.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the allure of that show, was seeing Aang physically travel through the realms.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was part of it. So I mean, we're probably going to get that, but we're also going to get a spirit. The fact that the spiritual world is also going to be at odds with the Avatar is going to be a fascinating.
It seems like Korra did something terrible saved humanity.
Pissed off everybody, yeah, but pissed everybody off.
Pissed off both sides.
Yeah.
I imagine I don't know why, but I had this strange suspicion that they're going to keep Aang around as as the one constant. He was in Korra too.
But she never got the connection to the past avatars at the end of the series. I don't think. Did that
Korra?
open up again? Yeah, I think Korra lost that connection to the avatars.
Yeah, but they've already implied that the ancestors are pissed.
Oh, is that okay? All right, is that what it was? All right, okay.
I think that was one of the implications of the premise of the new show is that they pissed off both sides of the spirit world too. Yeah. So if they're already pissed, it means that they're going to be talking to the new Avatar. And I think it means they're all going to be pissed except for Aang, who's going to be like the one person to kind of explain everything.
Yeah. Anyway, I won't stick on too long with it. But last thing was that the adult version of the Aang Avatar Last Airbender is probably on hiatus. Which
that sounds
really
a little
sucks.
Bit weird the way you said it, just to be
hiatus. Yeah.
No, the adult version.
The adult version. Oh well, the grown-up version, I should say. The grown-up characters. I was previously set for releasing
Avatar
this year,
After Dark.
Avatar but I want to see that. I love those sets of characters from the first Avatar Last Airbender, and although we got flashbacks in Korra as to what they did as their life went on.
Yeah, the show felt like very fan servicey. It feels like a very fan servicey type of thing to do. I'm not surprised it's stuck in developmental hell. Everything that these guys have been done with Avatar has been in developmental hell. It doesn't say they're bad at what they do. I just think they have their own unique vision of what they want this to be.
And they still have to go through Nickelodeon.
They're working with a very corporate company who's going to put a lot of restraints on them. It's not to say Nickelodeon is bad at what they do. It's just that they're both very good at what they do. Yeah. And sometimes that means they're going to get in the way of each other.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping they'll go ahead and they'll let that go ahead and make, because that stuff gets pretty dark in the
That's also what happened with the Avatar. Remember there was going to be another Avatar thing they were making their own movie that got completely axed. And I feel like this keeps happening to them, having this incredibly specific vision for an Avatar project with no leeway. And Nickelodeon says, well, maybe that's too dark. Maybe that's too adult. Maybe that's not the right vibe. Maybe I don't think we'll sell toys that way. Yeah. And whatever it is, it's just like, I think these guys need to make something.
Well, I was watching Paul Sun Lee, who plays Uncle Iroh. He was on his live stream the other day, and he was mentioning that he was on break this week, I think, from Avatar Season 2. So they're still shooting Season 2, which, I know they started later than One Piece, so that's, they'll be shooting Season 2 well into the year, and then they'll start shooting Season 3, I guess, after that. So I'm hoping that Season 2 of Avatar Last Airbender picks up and drops next year as well, the live-action show. But I hope they structure it better than they did Season 1. So I thought
Season 1 felt very fast. I didn't finish it, but it felt like it was really speed-running the show and not in a way...
They picked some highlights, and then they took things from Season 2 and put it into Season 1, and it was a little bit
I feel like they were trying to just get as much done... Well, I think that was one thing I liked about it more than One Piece, was it actually felt like they were trying to get as much done as they physically could, whereas One Piece is like, we're going to meander, or not meander, but we're going to tell the story and try and tell it through a proper lens.
I love
have
One Piece.
1,000 episodes. Like, it's just such a futile thing to do.
Sure, but One Piece still had, the TV show had the structure of it. Anyway, I'll move on. We'll finish up now because we're kind of getting close to the end of it. I just wanted to finish up with Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie is reportedly begin filming next year. This is the one after the Ahsoka series. So he's accumulating... There's basically this Mando and Grogu coming out, then there's Ahsoka Season 2, then there is Dave Filoni's movie, which is basically the accumulation of Grand Admiral Thrawn and the and everybody else.
God, this is going to be a disaster for Star Wars fans.
I don't know about that. It depends on how Grogu...
I don't think Star Wars fans want to connect the universe like that. It's not about quality. I just don't think they want to go see a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, then have to go watch the Ahsoka show, and then have to go see another movie to get the full story. I don't think that's what Star Wars fans like about Star Wars.
It's what we're going to get about it anyway. That's the thing. It's like,
That's
You
what
know,
we're gonna get.
but that's how it's going to end
I
up by
think Star
being.
Wars fans would much rather be in one place in a cohesive branding. I think the trilogies are fine, but not when it's movie, TV show, movie. I think that's
sure. No, I know, but the MCU's had that same problem too. So, but
I know. I think it's been a main problem across all of these IPs.
And I'm sure we're going to get a lot more news about it.
I don't know exactly about that because the trilogies were have the the prequels and sequels, like those really disappointed me. But I liked Rogue One more than all of those.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're really good and it's an offshoot in the Star Wars world. I could see that making sense, and especially now that when they are doing a trilogy and they have different people writing and producing and directing those movies, they become too different and they don't congeal like they should. So
well,
I would think like single movies now that Star Wars the Skywalker story is done, like just give us single movies and just make them good.
Yeah. Well, in this particular case, I think this is going to be the accumulation of having Luke on screen and having Ahsoka and having all these characters that they've in and out throughout the Mandalorian universe. Characters from Skeleton Crew, characters from.
But that's what they're pitching. That's what they're pitching Mandalorian and Grogu as. It's like they're pitching.
Mandalorian and Grogu is its own separate thing. It's just like imagine it was season 4.
But everyone assumes everyone assumes that's going to be the end of the Mandoverse. That's how everyone is thinking about it.
Which, I don't know. I mean, I honestly I'm not too sure. I guess we'll find out when that comes out next year. But to finish off today, Star Wars Celebration Japan dropped a whole pile of new artwork over the course of the last week as well. So they're just basically it's all very Japanese attire, some really cool artwork. It's a pity Jason's not here to talk about this because some of the styles are actually quite beautiful. But they're taking stuff from all over the movies and the TV shows and the animated shows. And they've just continued putting up a whole pile of, styles of.
I just like seeing like different cultures' interpretations of what Star Wars would be.
Yeah. So hopefully, cool. Yeah, that one is cool, the Clone Wars. But yeah, I mean, it's again that's
Plo
a
Koon. Someone's like the biggest Plo Koon.
Oh yeah, that's a great. It's a beautiful
hyper-realistic Plo Koon.
If I had a poster of that, I'd put it up on the wall, like literally.
Yeah,
but this is
cool.
Yeah, and one of the Ahsoka's cool. Like a lot of it, again, it's like this is official artwork that they're going to be.
That one's kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what news we get, and that's still like about 2 months away, I think it is, before they start announcing stuff.
I think it'll be a lot of Ahsoka news.
Grogu, they'll definitely push for a trailer for Mando and Grogu. They'll probably get some sneak peeks of. They wouldn't have started shooting Ahsoka by then, I don't think, because I think they're still prepping stuff.
News about I imagine we might get a first look at what's his name, the Hound as.
No, maybe not. Depends on. Is Star Wars coming to an end? No, it won't be coming to an end. There's too much. They just got to find
too much money in it.
Yeah, too much money in it. Absolutely, I'm still buying the toys.
The only Star Wars thing coming to an end was the what was it? The hotel.
Oh, the hotel. Yes.
Star Cruiser Hotel came to a crashing end.
Yes, crashing end, and then it became.
It crashed right in Alderaan before the Death Star blew it up.
So much for where Han and Leia got married.
I was telling Brandon they spent basically $1 billion to build what's now their new offices. That's basically crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's some of the artwork from Celebration that they dropped this week. I'm looking forward to seeing what news comes from that. We still don't have an Andor Season 2 trailer, but we're 2 months away from Andor coming out. So we should be getting a trailer maybe in the next week or two, hopefully. But I don't know. We'll see. they've been very quiet on Andor season 2 for us. So. All right, guys, I think we'll call it here. Thanks for joining us, everybody in chat. Thank you so much for your thoughts and responses and all that sort of stuff. If you enjoyed our kind of talk and everything, please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you next time. All right, catch you later, guys.